Carrie, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm looking for my glasses because I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, all right. We can see you hunting for your glasses. Joel, you with us?
I'm here.
Okay.
Carrie, does it help if I get really close to the camera?
Yes, or if I could hold you arm's length away, that'd be great. Yes.
Extreme close up.
That's what I'm doing, Corey.
Great minds think alike.
Okay, I still haven't seen Jeff Hancock yet. Has anybody heard from him?
I talked to him about 4:30.
Did he say he was planning on being on?
Yeah, but you know Jeff Electronics.
He's got a new device.
Yeah, he's got a brand new phone. He said he wouldn't have a problem.
Okay.
Is he
Let me see
Galaxy?
your back
I think
screen.
he's Galaxy A10e usually.
Hey, Mayor, you might want to send the guy that's with you down to Jeff's house every week.
He's muted, so he can't hear you.
Is that Galaxy A10e, Jeff?
I'll call him.
*6 will Jeff, if you can hear it, *6 will unmute your line.
Yeah, I don't know who Galaxy A is, but they're on.
You should be able to unmute them, Mayor.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
There he
It's
is.
Jeff.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Very well.
All right.
Clear.
Good deal.
Can you see us?
Yes.
Good, good. Okay. I think we've got everybody now. Anybody on YouTube? YouTube's supposed to be hooked up today also.
It says live.
Yep.
Good. Okay. All right. Well, everybody ready to get started?
Think so.
Okay. City Council meeting Monday, June 1st, 2020 comes to order. Roll call, please.
Mike Guffey,
Present.
Jeff Hancock,
Present.
Jerry Walden,
Here,
Aaron Dickin,
Here.
Mark Koger,
Here.
Lynn Purdue,
Here.
Rex Peckinpah.
Here.
Okay, everybody bow your heads with me if you would. Thank you, dear Lord, for this day. Thank you for the opportunity that we can serve our community. I pray that you help give us good business wisdom as we make decisions and the guidance for our community. Be with us in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes from the former meeting?
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the previous meeting.
second that.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Guffey,
Aye.
Jeff Hancock,
Aye.
Jerry Walden,
Aye,
Aaron Dickin,
Aye.
Mark Koger,
Aye.
Lynn Purdue,
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Mr. President, I turn this meeting over to you.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have no resolutions or ordinances, so that will take us to our committee reports. Mr. Guffey.
I've got one thing. I just want to follow up with you, Mayor. Did you get a chance to go down there on South 20th and the 800 block and check the lighting?
Yeah, I did. I haven't had a chance to talk to Duke about it, but I think there needs to be some more poles added. So, but they'll have to take an evaluation of it, and we'll do it. But it's going to take them some time to do a study on it also. So
I understand. There's a lot of big
a little
trees.
time consuming.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hancock.
Just one thing. I had a call today. I haven't checked it out or anything, but I know this has came up many times. Is 16th and C Avenue, the railroad tracks. I know we're not responsible for the railroad tracks, but I don't know how the road is leading up to it. I will take a look at it tomorrow. I know Mark has several times as we've had problems with that area and all that. Mark, have you been down there any time recently?
Which one was it, Jeff?
16th and C Avenue? Is that the one we had trouble with last year and year before?
Kind of the alley and,
Mhm.
It's
Are you
that,
talking?
yeah, that one way.
yeah.
Yeah, I will take a look at it
Interesting.
tomorrow, Mayor, and I'll give you a call
Okay.
if there's any of our concerns with the city needs to be responsible for.
Okay.
That's all, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Walden,
No, I just want to say that we just got back from North Carolina yesterday. And there's going to be a grandbaby number 2,
Oh,
Congratulations.
and it's going to be, the baby's going to be a little girl. So I won't know how to act.
oh.
Congratulations.
yeah.
Thanks, everyone. That's all I have.
Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Dickin?
I don't think I really have anything. I had some good conversations with Assistant Chief Wardlow over the weekend. I appreciate their leadership. And Jerry, in regards to not knowing how to act around girls, just remove the word no from your vocabulary and you'll be all right.
It's already removed.
Did you learn that the hard way, Aaron? How do you know?
I had a lot of people tell me, and by golly, they were right.
I thought you were going to invite Jerry to come over and spend a day or two with you.
I wouldn't do that to him. Wouldn't do that to him.
I'd do it in a heartbeat. You know, God bless me the first go around with the boys, because I'd been the most unfair father in the world to a little girl. And I'm already looking for that T-shirt that says my grandpa's the craziest, nuttiest guy on earth. So you better be careful.
They're fun.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Mr. Koger,
I don't have anything tonight.
Mr. Purdue?
Just one thing. This is for the traffic committee. The owner of the Early Bird wanted to take a look at making that section of Central Avenue between 15th and 14th two-way. He'd like to put in a drive-in window, and it won't work for one-way going west.
Lynn, do we happen to know when that was made a one-way? Mark, do you know, or
No.
anyone else?
No,
I can't remember, how wide is that street?
actually, it's quite right. Like it's
I thought it was, but
yeah, it's the widest part of the whole street.
Yeah.
We'll, traffic committee will take a look at it and get back with you in 2 weeks. And
Okay.
we'll talk to the gentleman with the Early Bird too and all that and see. I've heard about this, I know about it and all that, and he wants to put a drive-through in. So we'll go out and look at the property. I think the road's plenty big enough. I think there's parking on one side, on the south side, but I think there's still plenty of room.
I think he even has quite a bit of space on his property between the building itself and the road.
Yeah, his drive-up window will actually be off of the road, so that's not a problem with that.
And you said that's Central there that runs right into the art center. That's
Correct.
the road we're talking about.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, that parking lot is, we're going to redo that parking lot. Carrie, what was the name of the company from Wisconsin?
Vandewall.
Vandewall put that in their plan, and they had a pretty nice parking lot there. That parking lot in between Dave Nance and them is just, it's in bad shape. We've pulled cars, oil tanks, stoves. It's very uneven. So at the end of the plaza, that's one of the things we're going to do. And I was thinking about even making that road angle parking like we're doing on Race Street, but none of it's etched in stone. I mean, so there's nothing that is a done deal yet. So we can.
Just to clarify, as you're talking about those plans for that lot, I just want to make sure for anybody, in the public that's listening or watching, that the city owns that lot between those two buildings.
Right.
Correct.
Aaron,
There's some plans there that I hope that doesn't hamper that. I still think there's room for a drive-through there, but that whole road, it's pretty wide. It would be good to do angle parking up by the building up by 14th Street. But there's a lot of good discussion that can be had there for the traffic committee.
I'm betting
Okay.
that back years ago, there was a kind of a movement, a lot of places, you see it a lot in Muncie, where they went to, one street going one way and the other street, next block going back the other. And I got a feeling that kind of came into play then. And they really didn't look at the width of it. They just said, well, we're going to kind of get on board with what some other towns are doing. So,
Well, that's the old Greyhound bus line.
yeah,
So that may have had something to do with it back in the 50s.
could be.
Aaron, could you meet with me there Friday morning, say 8 o'clock, or Mr. Mayor, or both of you?
Sure.
Did you say Carrie or Jerry?
They'd probably let you come too, Carrie.
Carrie, you
I am
could
a
come
busybody.
too. You could come too, Carrie.
Well, I'm a busybody, so.
All right, is that it, Lynn?
That's
Just
all.
meet,
Okay.
just
So
meet
so
there.
is your
for
meeting Friday morning at 9? Is that what?
8, 8.
Friday at 8. Okay.
Is that okay, Greg?
It's okay with me. Yeah.
Just
Right
meet
at the early bird. Yeah.
at the early
Let me know
bird.
what
Now, who else
happens.
did you ask to be there?
Aaron, now I don't know if Jeff could be there, but
I can't make it, so just let me
Okay.
know what's going on.
Okay.
Jeff's a harder worker than all of us, so he's probably busy.
okay.
Okay, well, I don't have a lot, but I did have a resident message me with a complaint. I think you got the message too, Your Honor. You can, maybe you didn't, and you can let me know. You can just say if you did or you didn't. But anyway, they were upset because in the West Lawn addition of the cemetery, they had brought some equipment or something in there, probably to open a grave or to close a grave or to, I don't know, deliver a vault, whatever, the different things that go on in there. And ruts were left across their parents' grave. I went out there today and it looked like maybe they've been tamped down, but can we kind of get our people to be a little more cognizant of that when they go about doing some of this work and not leave the ruts, or, at least try to do something to take care of them?
Yeah, with all the rain we've had, yes, I did get that phone call and I did go out and look at it, and we had a barrel right behind it just a week before Memorial Day.
Mhm.
And they did leave some backhoe marks there, the wheel marks, but with all the rain we've had, I mean, we were really cramming just to get it mowed before Memorial Day, but we've tried to roll it down, and what we can't get rolled flat, we'll put some more topsoil on it and then plant some more grass. So
Okay.
we're working on it, but that's tough. I mean, when you take
Yeah.
solid ground and then dig the grave, and it takes a long time for it to settle. And with all the water we've had here lately, it's been pretty tough. But yeah, I got that call, and we're working on it.
I understand. I just told them I'd bring it up, and, I think
Yep.
we'll get it taken care of. All right, well, that's all I've got. I'll turn it back over to you so we can get to the really important stuff like Corey Murphy and Sean Default.
Well, I think Carrie's more important than
Oh,
Corey.
Carrie Barrett, yes.
Yeah, we'll let Carrie go first. The busybody go first.
I am the resident busybody. Let's see. Fourth Fridays, I think they'll resume. Yeah, I think they'll resume for real in July, unless anybody has anything to say about that, which I'm open to. And then Business Resiliency Fund, we've given away $2,000 grants to, let me think here, about 17 businesses. No, about 17 businesses so far. We have one more round to go on Thursday, and then I think we'll be done. And if you know of any businesses that should apply, applications will close Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So if there's money left and we can give it away, they apply. And then Restaurant Resiliency Fund will start Friday, June 5th, and that is $7,500 grants to any locally owned restaurant. So that's what we're doing right now.
Okay, good.
Carrie, I got a question.
Yes.
Now they say that on video, a person will look 10 pounds heavier.
Uh-oh.
Well, you look lighter to me. You look like you've lost weight. I don't know. I need
Oh,
to
Oh, man.
Do I
Rex,
look younger
no.
too, Rex?
Oh, my
Yes.
gosh, Rick.
Oh my, Rex, come on, you know
Now,
never
don't
to
moan
do
too
something
much.
like
You
that.
guys will give me a complex.
Rex, I think you do
No.
also.
I just believe you compliment people when you see the
Oh
opportunity.
boy, Rex.
Oh, you're very kind, Rex. I appreciate it.
You look good too, Rex.
Well, coming from you, Mike, that sure means a lot, buddy.
Any other questions for Carrie? Sean,
Wow.
anything? Corey, I know Corey's got a presentation to make, so we'll let Corey go last. You ready, Sean?
Yeah, I'm here, Mayor. And honestly, from the Chamber of Commerce perspective, we really have nothing to report of as of right now, but we'll field any questions that you guys may have.
Okay. Any questions for Sean?
Sean, are you getting any feedback from the local businesses on how things have gone since it's opened up a little bit? Do you have anything to say to that?
The little feedback that I have gotten, just depends on who it is. Obviously, like some of the restaurants aren't going to open until they get more room to open up their space to greater than about 75 to 100% instead of 50. So they're still waiting that out. Some of the smaller businesses are slowly but surely opening. We haven't gotten any major feedback except for those who are trying to figure out the funding mechanisms that we have here in the city and in the county and trying to help keep them going until they can fully open. There's many of them are waiting for the June 14th as a magic date. Some of them are going to wait until July 4th. So it's a mixed bag, Jerry, but I haven't heard any negative reports.
Anybody else? Corey, we're ready for you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to join with you virtually. Want to start out with, I guess, some old news. You should be looking at our website on the screen share, growinhenry.com. Is the best way to find the local funding resources. If you scroll down to the news section, we have a one-stop shop link, business funding resources. We're going to keep this on the main part of our page all the time, you know, as long as it's relevant, and we'll also update it. So you all have contributed to the Enterprise Loan Fund. So up to $12,000 loan. If it's approved by the committee, 6 months interest only. And we'll go out to 4 years on a $12,000 loan. Lower amount loans would be a lesser amount term, but at the maximum of 12,000. So that's a 4-year repayment. It's for small businesses, 30 employees or less, located anywhere in Henry County. And then Carrie talked about the Business Resiliency Fund through Newcastle Main Street. Carrie and her team, Main Street program has been a phenomenal partner. And the confusion out there has been that, well, it says Newcastle Main Street, and so it's only for Newcastle Main Street. And I kind of made it my mission to serve, you know, the ministry of reminder. Yes, it is managed by Newcastle Main Street, but businesses can be located anywhere in Henry County. And so if you click there, it's going to take you to Carrie's website, newcastledowntown.com. Now, as she mentioned, this program is going to close on Wednesday, June 3rd, but the Restaurant Resiliency Program is going to operate very similarly, and it opens on the 5th, Friday. So we'll update this page to reflect that. I want to drop down here real quickly. So we've included our friends in Knightstown. They have a business survival program, and there's an email there, info@knightstownchamber.org. But this program here, the City of Newcastle Business Grant Fund, so the city received an Office of Community and Rural Affairs, or OCRA. They received a grant from the state. It's actually federal money flowing through the state. It is the same type of funding that the city received to do some work out at the wastewater treatment plant within the last year or so. It's the same amount, or it's the same type of money. It's Community Development Block Grant money, or CDBG for short. And so we're targeting any business located within the city limits. Any business located within the city limits. The maximum grant is $25,000. And so I'm going to go ahead and click Learn More. And so here's the preliminary application. It's at the top of the page. I don't want to get into the weeds tonight. Happy to answer any questions, but my message is to encourage businesses to apply. Any size, any type, including independent contractors. In other words, you don't really have to have a brick and mortar place. So an example of an independent contractor may be a hairstylist or a barber that rents a chair or rents a booth in a salon located in the city of Newcastle. They are eligible to apply. And so here in the middle of the page, we have our process. So submit preliminary application. That's that link here. That will take a business less than 10 minutes to go through the preliminary application. Less than 5 if they have everything at their fingertips. So we're not making this difficult. And then weekly, our committee reviews and scores those applications. And so the committee decides whether to move an application on to step 3, which is the low to moderate income verification. I think a lot of people maybe are a little hesitant because they're hung up on the low to moderate income. And so my encouragement is go ahead and apply. It doesn't take that much time to apply. Let us worry about the LMI verification. Because the applicant won't ever get to the LMI verification if they don't apply. So we have gone through 1 week of application reviews. We reviewed 9 applications. The committee recommended 4 of those applications to move on to the LMI verification stage. We kept 4 on the table and we declined 1. We have 1 more application in the pipeline. So that'd be a total of 10. I put out a video on our LinkedIn and on our Facebook that does something very similar to what I just did with you, going through, where to look and how to apply and where to go. We're also going to do we've done some email marketing through the chamber, through our own network. We're going to run some display ads. I would encourage you through your own networks, through your own relationships, encourage businesses to apply. We're not guaranteeing funding, but we can't consider the application unless they take the time to put in the application. I have a meeting tomorrow with the city's grant consultant on this, and we're going to work through the logistics on the low to moderate income verifications, because we want to get those 4 applicants moving on that. Any questions in terms of the business funding resources?
How much is in your kitty?
Well, so the Okra grant was a $250,000 grant. Brenda or Greg or Kendra can correct me. I think there's a very small portion that comes out of that for grant administration services that goes to Klein Peter Consulting. So
Right.
let's just say we have $240,000 to grant out.
Okay.
And we will, at our next meeting on the 15th, I believe it is, we'll have a public meeting where we will do a little nuts and bolts to help that grant along, I think.
Okay, yeah, the required public hearing from
Yeah.
Okra standpoint. Excellent. I am open to your suggestions and recommendations for marketing and getting this out there. And then our revolving loan fund, I would say probably we have approximately $40,000 available for city businesses.
Has anyone asked if they could apply for both?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had a couple instances where people have applied for both.
Is it possible?
Yes, it is.
Ah, okay. I did
Yes,
not
it
realize
is.
that. Okay.
Yep. And I think the loan program is going to be maybe even more important as we open up and can see more full revenue streams. Maybe not back to normal, but in terms of like capacity of a restaurant and so on and so forth. I think having a little bit of access to capital is going to be important. The state announced a grant program, and we've provided that link on our Facebook page. You can go on to Back on Track. So it's the governor's kind of opening up plan. There's a small business grant there. The documentation that they require is substantially different than the documentation that we are requiring. So I feel good about that. We're trying to make this as efficient and as effective as possible. But the state has come out with some resources.
Corey, I think one good idea would be maybe for you and Sean, especially Sean's group, to go around just business to business. And you can
Yeah.
start on Broad Street and go around and just drop off a one-page flyer to them. And plus that gives you business retention on every aspect of walking in and saying, hey, what can we do for you? We talk about bringing new business in all the time. And I know at EDC meetings a lot, we talk about retention.
Yeah.
So I think, with Main Street Chamber and your group, but between the three of you, just divide it up and take off and go door to door. I mean, there's nothing else to do. So with everything being closed, the ones that are open, go to them, open up, drop off a one page. Say, here it is. You don't have to do it, but here's your options.
That's a
Appreciate
good
that,
way.
Mark.
That's a good way to answer quick questions too, Mark. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Mark, do we
Sean,
need, that's the first thing out of your mouth. What can we do for you?
Sean, do you have any idea how many local businesses there are right off the top of your head?
No, I do not know that number. I do know that we have well over 280 members in the chamber itself. And I know that I gave a list already to EDC, as Corey has stated, so they can connect with all of those members that we have in Newcastle itself directly. And then, of course, we're going to help along with Carrie and Corey on the restaurant side of things, but we are always open to helping out as best as we can to get the word out. I'll be sending an email either later tonight or tomorrow morning to all of our members regarding all of the potential funding that's out there in regards to grants and loans.
And I think to go off from Mark's idea even one step further is, as you talk with these businesses, you can find out, do you know of anyone else who might be in the same position that you are, that we might be able to talk to? Mark has a great idea. You're spot on that.
Exactly. And as I said, the chamber will do what we can. And if walking down Broad Street seems to be a good idea, well, we have no problem doing something like that.
We have a flyer on an 8.5 by 11. I'll send it to you so you guys can have it at your disposal as well, but that's a great idea. If there aren't any more questions regarding that, I'm going to switch gears.
Well, I would like to interject another idea. I'd like to volunteer myself and Mark to stand on the corner of Broad and Main and spin signs about the grant programs. I think that might also.
That would be great.
draw in some
Great
business.
idea, Aaron.
Yeah.
I'll pay for the sign out of my pocket, Corey. Them spin. That's how good. I'd like to see that.
Make that 3 then.
Sure.
At what point do you have to have a permit to gather there? I mean,
Social distancing.
all right. I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to put up some design concepts for a sign. About 4 years ago, Rex Peckinpah asked Sean and I to pursue a design for new signs. And so here they are, nothing set in stone. We're working with Margison's, and with the COVID-19 shutdown, some of their vendors from a material perspective have kind of struggled to give them quotes. So if you ask me price, I'm going to say I don't know because they don't have the information yet. But the location, if we move forward with this, the location would be as you're coming in from Hagerstown.
How big of a sign are we looking at?
I would say very similar to what is at TSC now.
Okay. The bigger, the better.
Yes. So open for feedback, open for suggestions. I just got one, bigger the better. If there's one that you don't like, so 1 is in the upper left-hand corner, 2, 3, 4. There's no rhyme or reason to that. Just make it easier if you want to provide feedback. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll vote 1.
I was going to say, Corey, maybe we could send those out. They could have a little time to digest them, and then everybody could kind of.
Absolutely, that'd be fine.
Because I mean, we're not getting one next week or so because we can't get it through Margison's yet. So we've got a little time.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Well, we don't have the money.
Would there be a plan for in the future, maybe having different organizations represented around this sign?
We kind of felt
clubs and.
We kind of felt like the more stuff you start putting on there, like different clubs and home of and all this stuff, before you know it, you're either going to offend somebody or leave somebody out. So let's just welcome them to Newcastle.
That's
What
my
about the
very
other locations?
That's
What
my
about
very
south of-
point,
Well,
Rex.
Jeff, we figured that we start there, we see what the reaction is, and then we start working on some other locations. But right now, we just need to get the ball rolling.
That's great.
So would this be wood, plastic? What type of materials are you thinking about using?
I think it's going to be a composite.
Okay.
How about a vinyl material that's weatherproof?
Yes.
Because we have to keep in mind being able to ease of keeping it clean too. So,
Yes.
well, they're all nice.
So just we'll get them out to all council and also to the mayor, Kendra. Let everybody kind of give their feedback on which ones they like the best and maybe second best, and
1 through 4.
yeah, and we'll come up kind of with a consensus.
That concludes my report. Thank you, council. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Any other
Corey.
questions for Corey? Okay, thank you. Counselor Joel, are you still with us? Do you have anything this evening?
I don't have anything this evening.
Okay. While you're on here, Rex or somebody alluded to that we do have a public hearing coming up this next meeting. So the public hearing cannot be done on Zoom. So that brings us back inside. So is everybody kind of mentally getting prepared for that, for this next meeting?
You're right.
Yeah, we thought we'd have that at the Armory. Is
Yep.
that okay?
Yep. We'll spread it out real good, but we did practice a little bit tonight. I got our thermometer in to shoot your forehead to give you the temperature off of it. And we did have a park board meeting inside this evening in this room and practice social distancing and took everybody's temperature and everybody passed with flying colors. So we do have a thermometer that we can check forehead. So Joel, if we have it at the Armory, all we'll have to do is just specify the address and where it's at for the public hearing. We don't want to.
I think Mike Kleinpeter is taking care of advertising the public hearing. We just need to advertise our council
Location.
meeting.
Yeah, we still have to post it here at these doors. And how many locations we have to post that on, Joel?
You'd have to post it at the location of the meeting at the city hall, and then you have to also let the courier know.
Okay.
And then I think that takes care of everything you need to do for the open door law.
Okay, all right. So everybody, we've been hunkered down for quite some time now, but you know, in 2 weeks, we've got to mentally, that it's time to come together. So at that meeting, I guess at that time, we'll decide what we're going to do then for the next month, for July, whether we come back to the council or want to continue to have meetings in the Armory or want to have them on Zoom. So
I don't think we can have them on Zoom after June 15th. If Mr. Harvey, is that correct, Mr. Harvey, according to the governor's order?
As it stands today, yes. I mean, the governor has, in his latest executive order, said his suspension of the provisions of the open door law will expire on, I think, June 13th at midnight.
Yeah.
I've heard some rumblings that will get extended, but as it stands right now, it would have to be an in-person meeting of some type.
I was presuming it'd be extended, but I don't know. Well, that's what I mean. The rules change.
Yep.
We'll just play it from meeting to meeting. Nothing etched in stone. We'll talk about it at every meeting on what we're going to do next. But at this point in time, the next meeting will be at the Armory. Anything else, Counselor?
I don't have anything else.
Brenda, do you have anything?
No.
Kendra? She bugged
No.
out on us. Okay. One of the things I wanted to make sure and talk this evening was we had a demonstration scheduled in Newcastle yesterday, and our police department was very prepared and very aware. And Kathy Hamilton had some input in on that, and it did not happen. It did not develop. So the police department worked very hard, was ready. I was very proud of them, did an extremely good job. And Kathy was in talks with that group, and things went well. So there was a demonstration in Anderson, Muncie, and Richmond, and it just worked out that it just didn't happen here. There was no real certain reasons why, but it worked out that it didn't happen here. So I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers that went into that. Had a lot of business owners that were concerned about windows and their businesses. And so we were fortunate that it just did not develop. So appreciate everybody's input on that. I want to say thanks to Aaron and Corey. If you drive by the plaza, Corey and Aaron have been very religious on mowing the yard up there. And I did sneak Corey says, man, I can't believe how well this grows. Well, we did have it fertilized early on, and hey, they volunteered to keep it mowed, so we want it to look nice. So we did fertilize it, and I think the grass is coming in really well, but they've been doing a really good job of mowing it. So thank you to you guys for doing that. Looks
I wanted to ask if we could have goats
No.
Just chickens.
No, we're going for goats if we have chickens.
All right.
Let's don't go there. Let's don't go there. So at this point in time, that's all that I have, but we will post and we will plan to have the next meeting at the Armory. Unless anybody else has anything else to say or.
Yeah. I got one thing. Brenda, the 560,000 that we were possibly going to get, it looked like last I read that was a go. That have you received a date yet of when we're going to receive it?
Well, we have to apply for it. And right now, you have to have spent X amount of dollars COVID related. And it's very specific of what you have to spend it on. And I talked to the county, they said they only have like $2,000 that they can claim on their 1.5 million.
So how did they come up with that amount for cities and counties to apply if that wasn't what they were going to get?
Well, we can get up to that amount as long as we've been affected up to that amount.
Okay, so what are the affected areas that?
Like
I mean,
anything
like-
that we've had to do, like splash, like the great,
Plexiglass.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the plexiglass guards.
Yeah, like the plexiglass things, that kind of stuff. If you've had to buy masks for your employees, it's not anything that we've had to do yet that has affected us.
Do you mean our emergency services and all those
We can't
haven't
claim
had to
that.
buy anything? They haven't had to buy nothing?
Well, what they've bought, we've already used with that money at that 56,000 we got in the beginning.
So you can't do it twice. You can't bill them twice.
Correct.
No.
Right.
We have to pay for it, then give them the receipt, and then they would reimburse us for it. They don't just give us the money.
Right.
Oh, so in other words, again, our state legislators, I say it every week. All it is making them look good. That's all it's doing.
It
Yeah,
sounds
you have
awful
to-
when it's on TV.
Yeah, exactly. On
that's
TV,
it.
it makes it look like we're getting $560,000.
Yes.
And that's what people are going to think because in the state legislators election year, so they're all going to look like they're winning and they're paying everybody back and they haven't given us a dime. So
Right.
They make it look like they've given the city of Newcastle and given Henry County 1.6 and given us
sure, exactly what it does.
$500,000 and the hoops that you have to jump through. It's not
Okay.
possible.
Okay. Well, thanks for clarifying that.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I'll move, we adjourn.
So be.
Second. Okay. Everybody have a nice week. We'll see you at the Armory next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Yeah, everybody.
Lucy, I'm out here.